Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive into the endless labyrinth that is Hunter x Hunter. Today we'll be dissecting chapter 408, titled Negotiations Part 2. If you haven't read the chapter, or even if you have, don't worry. I'm here to guide you through the sinister dialogue, manipulative games, and Togashi's unique blend of existential dread and calculated chaos. Trust me, this chapter hits different, so grab a cup of tea, or maybe something stronger, and let's unravel the madness. The chapter kicks off with Morena, the enigmatic leader of the Haley family, sitting across from Borkson in a game that can only be described as part negotiation, part psychological warfare, and entirely Togashi. This setup is deceptively simple. Cards are drawn and the topics they reveal guide their discussion. But as we quickly learn, this isn't just a casual chat. It's a minefield disguised as a conversation. Morena invites Borkson to choose a card, starting the negotiation game, which immediately feels much less like a friendly exchange and more like a Saw movie. Togashi wastes no time plunging us into the tension. You can almost hear the clock ticking ominously in the background. The first card drawn is Purpose, leading Morena to share her grand, horrific ambitions, the destruction of the Kaken Kingdom, and, beyond that, the annihilation of humanity itself. Casual, just your typical Tuesday for a Togashi villain. Morena claims that she needs Borkson's power to achieve these goals. Here's where Togashi's writing really shines, or should I say darkens. Morena doesn't just reveal her purpose, she unloads a backstory so grim that it makes most villains in Hunter x Hunter look almost tame by comparison. She is a festival orphan, born into a system that's a horrifying mix of royal exploitation, human trafficking, and scientific experimentation. Babies born during these royal carnivals are discarded like trash, their faces slashed, and their lives categorized as either Nizin Mono, counterfeit royals, or meat. Morena, she was meat. Her mother, who unknowingly carried her to term, died hosting the royal entourage, forced into sleepless labor. Morena's childhood was essentially a prolonged nightmare in a human trafficking facility, and yet, somehow, she climbed to the top of this grotesque hierarchy, becoming the leader of the Haley family. This backstory doesn't just justify her hatred for Kaken, it amplifies it to a near-apocalyptic level. Morena isn't just a villain, she's Togashi's answer to the question, what happens when a broken system creates someone who decides to break everything in return? Back to negotiation. Borkson quickly realizes that Morena is playing 4D chess while she's stuck on checkers. She tries to outsmart Morena by reading between the lines of her statements. For instance, when Morena lets slip that there are fewer than 50 members in her groups, Borkson deduces she is not close to the full number, likely around 25. This is the kind of dialogue that makes Hunter x Hunter feel like a strategic board game rather than a battle manga. Yet, every time Borkson thinks she's gaining ground, Morena pulls the rug out from under her. The cards themselves are traps. The yes card seems like a simple agreement to join her cause, but the no card, that's a death sentence. And the X card, it wipes the slate clean, but at what cost? Morena claims it will nullify their encounter, but can you really trust someone whose entire life has been about manipulation and murder? Now let's talk about Nen, because of course Togashi uses this negotiation as an excuse to dump more Nen lore on us. Morena explains her ability in detail. She's a specialist because obviously she's not playing by anyone else's rules, and her power allows her to awaken Nen and others. But here's the kicker. Her ability works like a pyramid scheme. Yes, you heard that right. Togashi essentially turned Nen into an MLM. Morena recruits children who can gain points and eventually create their own children. It's both brilliant and bleak. Like any pyramid scheme, Morena's system thrives on exploitation. She doesn't care about her followers, individual goals, or morality. In fact, the only unifying factor among her group is their shared love for killing people. Whether it's direct murder or indirect causation, doesn't matter. Her small goal of destroying Kaken is another stepping stone in the larger goal of absolute chaos. And here's where the chapter drops an intriguing piece of Nen lore. Morena reveals that specialists are incredibly rare, about 1 in every 3,000 people. On the Black Whale, this means that there could theoretically be another 50 to 60 specialists aboard, many of whom remain unawakened. Morena even mentions a specific ally, Dogman, whose enhanced sense of smell allows him to detect unawakened specialists, emphasizing her group's ongoing efforts to recruit them. Here's the bombshell. Morena's Dogman has already identified several specialists, including one who is a floor master of the Sky Arena and a renowned figure of the martial arts world. This is a tantalizing hint that Morena may be referring to none other than Chrollo Lucifer, the leader of the Phantom Troop, currently aboard the Black Whale. Fits the description perfectly. If this connection is real, it could have explosive implications for the already chaotic power dynamics on the ship. What role might Chrollo play in Morena's plans? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Borkson's internal monologue is the real MVP of this chapter. Through her thoughts, we see growing desperation. She's trapped in a game where every choice feels like a loss. Morena's explanation of Nen as tied to personality only deepens her anxiety. If she's a specialist, does that mean she's inherently predisposed to align with Morena's twisted goals, or is Morena just manipulating her into thinking so? Her struggle is deeply human. Borkson doesn't want to be a hero or a villain. She just wants a quiet life, a sentiment that feels painfully relatable in a story where quiet lives are a luxury no one can afford. As the game reaches its climax, Borkson realizes the true nature of Morena's trap. The negotiation isn't just about recruitment, it's about control. Every card she plays, every question she asks, leads her further into Morena's web. Even the X card, which seems like a safe exit, comes with strings attached. Morena claims it will nullify their encounter, but the implication is clear. There's no real escape. And let's not forget the looming threat of death. Morena's casual mention of the no card being a death sentence is a kind of detail Togashi loves to drop like a bomb. It's not just a negotiation, it's a life or death gamble. And Morena, she's the house. The odds are always in her favor. As the chapter closes, the ship's loudspeakers announce that martial law has been declared. This is a massive development and raises important questions. What led Prince Benjamin to enact this drastic measure? Was it a response to growing unrest, or something specific involving another prince? The declaration of martial law could have far-reaching consequences for everyone aboard the Black Whale, from the princes waging their succession war to the lower decks where chaos brews among the factions like Haley. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Why do you think Benjamin enacted martial law, and how will this affect the already fragile power dynamics on the ship? Chapter 408 is a masterclass in tension and character development. Morena cements herself as one of the most fascinating villains in Hunter x Hunter, a character driven by trauma, nihilism, and a desire for absolute destruction. Borkson, meanwhile, serves as a perfect foil, a woman caught in a game she doesn't want to play, facing choices she can't fully understand. The declaration of martial law adds another layer of intrigue to the already complex tapestry of plots aboard the Black Whale. How might it change Benjamin's control of the situation or disrupt Morena's dangerous schemes? And what are the implications of Chrollo Lucifer potentially being on Morena's radar? This chapter isn't just a negotiation, it's a microcosm of everything that makes Hunter x Hunter so compelling. Togashi doesn't just write battles or dialogues, he writes existential crisis disguised as plot points. So, what did you think of this chapter? Did Morena's backstory give you chills? What are your theories about martial law and the potential ripple effects of Chrollo's involvement? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I've got plenty more Hunter x Hunter content coming your way. Until next time, stay sharp and maybe steer clear of pyramid schemes.